Caught between my husband's growing suspicion and my lover's unrelenting passion, I found myself at a crossroads, facing a decision that could shatter the facade of my seemingly perfect life. Chapter 4. Torn between my husband's suspicion and a lover's passion. Do you know what it's like to live a double life? To wake up every day wearing a mask, playing a part that you know deep down isn't really you? That was my reality, my daily act, the devoted wife at home, and the yearning lover in secret. Each day that passed since my last meeting with James was like a step further into a labyrinth of lies and desire. I was living on the edge of a precipice, constantly fearing the fall, yet unable to step back from the brink. Michael, my husband, he had always been the steady one, the rock in our relationship. But even rocks can sense the shifting sands beneath them. He started asking questions, subtle at first, then more pointed. "You seem distracted, Ellie. Is everything okay?" His eyes would search mine, looking for truths I wasn't ready to give. And then there were the late-night texts from James, each one like a siren call I couldn't resist. We'd exchange messages filled with longing and promises of stolen moments. It was reckless, I knew, but the thrill was intoxicating. James and I continued to meet, each encounter more passionate than the last. It was madness, the way we clung to each other, finding solace in our shared escape from reality. He was like a drug, and I was hopelessly addicted. But with every secret tryst, the weight of my deceit grew heavier. I was living a lie that was slowly suffocating me. The guilt was always there, lurking in the shadows, a constant reminder of the betrayal I was committing. One evening, as I returned home from one such rendezvous, Michael confronted me. "Ellie, we need to talk. I know something's going on." His voice was steady, but I could see the hurt in his eyes. I stood there, frozen, my heart racing. This was it, the moment of truth. But instead of confessing, I found myself weaving another web of lies. "It's just work stress, Michael. I've been really overwhelmed." The words tasted bitter in my mouth. He nodded, but I could tell he wasn't convinced. There was a new distance between us, a chasm that had opened up silently, insidiously. Days turned into weeks, and the strain on my marriage grew. Michael became more withdrawn, and I, more desperate to cling to the fantasy I had with James. It was a vicious cycle, one that I couldn't seem to break free from. And then came the day that changed everything. James sent me a message that sent a shiver down my spine. "We can't go on like this, Ellie. I need more. I want more." His words echoed in my head, a mantra of forbidden desire. I knew it was a turning point, a decision that could alter the course of my life forever. But as much as I wanted to, I couldn't bring myself to end things with James. He had become a part of me, a piece of my soul that I wasn't ready to let go of. So we planned another meeting, a day that promised to be a culmination of all our secret yearnings. But as I prepared to step out, I caught a glimpse of Michael, watching me with a look that was a mix of suspicion and sorrow. The realization hit me like a wave. I was about to lose everything. My husband, my home, my sense of self. All for a love that was built on a foundation of lies. I left the house with a heavy heart, torn between the life I had and the one I thought I wanted. The journey to meet James was a blur, my mind a battleground of emotions. As I sat across from James, the gravity of the situation finally sunk in. This wasn't just an affair. It was a choice that would define the rest of my life. We talked, our conversation a mix of passion and desperation. James was ready to leave his wife, to start a new life together. But as I looked into his eyes, I saw not just the man I desired, but also the reflection of the person I had become. I was lost, caught in a whirlwind of my own making. And as James reached out to me, I realized I couldn't do it. I couldn't be the person who destroyed 2 marriages, 2 lives. The decision was heart-wrenching. I told James it was over, that we couldn't see each other again. The pain in his eyes mirrored my own, but I knew it was the right thing to do. I returned home to Michael, but the house was empty. He had left, taking his belongings with him. There was a note on the table, a simple goodbye that spoke volumes of the hurt and betrayal he felt. I sat there, alone in the silence, the magnitude of my actions crashing down on me. I had lost my husband, ended my affair, and in the process, lost myself. But just when I thought I had reached the end of my story, a new twist emerged. A knock on the door broke the silence, and as I opened it, I was met with a sight that I never expected. It was Michael, his eyes filled with a mix of hope and uncertainty. "Ellie," he said, his voice trembling, "we need to talk." And in that moment, I knew that my story was far from over. It was a new beginning, a chance to mend what I had broken, to find myself again.